Hi, everybody. This is Wendy,
And Angie.
your guides to the Akashic Records, and we're here with our September energy update for the collective. And we're stoked.
We are, yay!
We're always excited, though, to be here and share this with everybody.
Yeah.
I know, right? We're like, is it the end of August yet? Can we do?
I was ready. Yeah, this is going to be great.
We're like kids in the candy store.
I know. I love it.
So September, if I could sum it up in one word, I think, from what I'm seeing anyway, it's going to be release. That's what it feels like to me, because we've already pulled some cards, which we'll share and kind of break down, the September energies for you all. But definitely big, big release happening in September. So allowing, surrendering is going to be super important.
So important. Yeah. I was getting, you were saying release and I was getting change, which, they go hand
release
in hand.
Absolutely. Well, we can't have change without release, right?
Exactly.
It's almost like once you release that valve and let the extra energy out, then things can change.
Yes. Beautiful.
So that'll be, fabulous. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and what was interesting was I was just telling Wendy before we hit the go button, I was seeing that when we were going into the records, I was seeing that tree again, that tree with the fully loaded leaves
August
that
video,
that we talked about in August, and then they just blew off. And I also saw a bag of money, of coins, and it was just dumped out. So we were just discussing that imagery was really interesting.
Right. With a lot of
the third image I saw was just sort of like an aerial view of like clouds shifting around and just kind of like tumbleweeds crossing.
Oh, you know what that speaks to me? I have a lot of friends who've been the last few weeks of August, a lot of friends have been, the way they describe how they're feeling, they're in the desert. In this journey, we call it being in the desert. It means you're literally between shifts. You're between breakthroughs, really. And so you kind of feel stagnant, you feel stuck, you feel, you kind of feel blah.
Like a tumbleweed.
You're in the desert. You're like a tumbleweed. You're in the desert, and it's temporary. But what I'm getting is that is coming to an end in September.
Okay.
And I feel like the tree, I think you saw the tree only because I feel like the tree is going to be prevalent through October even. Like it's kind of the same. We're kind of under an umbrella. Image. We're really just doing a lot of purging, releasing, shifting, transforming. But we try to, zone in on more specifics for you. But really, the energies don't necessarily change every first of the month, right? Just because we have a calendar that says it's a new month. And so, so I think the tree is still going to be, we're shedding all those leaves, guys. You're releasing the weight. You're putting down the baggage.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's good stuff.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that second image, very interesting. We kind of discussed does that relate to money or does that relate to something else? You had your ideas around it. Yeah.
And we had been talking about money before we started focusing on the video. So maybe that was coming through for a reason.
Maybe it's releasing like you said, surrendering and releasing, certain attachments, lower vibrational attachments we might have.
We really need to release control of everything in our lives because that's making you hold on to things that are no longer serving you. So when you can let go of everything, and people are always, I have to tell clients because they get nervous. I'm like, we're going to cut some cords, and they get really nervous. Oh, I can't cut. I don't want to cut a cord that's. I might need that. If you still need it, we won't be able to cut it. I promise you.
Yeah, exactly.
It just won't happen.
Your soul will take care of that.
Or we'll cut it and you'll just reform it, and that's fine. We'll cut it later, and it won't do that. But don't be nervous about. We really have to release everything, and a lot of what's been coming up too for even my personal clients is releasing expectation of what your September specifically, but what your future is going to look like. We have to release expectation of who is going to be part of your life from here on out. because it's not going to be necessarily who you think. There may be people you think, oh, that I'm never going to not be, connected to them, and they may go. And we have to release, that whole needing somebody to be part of our lives, when you have to remember everybody's got their own journey.
Absolutely.
So just because you want them to be part of your journey doesn't mean they will be.
And
so it's going to be a lot of releasing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's part of stepping into our sovereignty, right? Realizing that.
Ooh, I just got chills. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That we can stand on our own, and we don't need we've created so many attachments in our, sort of march on earth.
Right. In our journey out of
survival. In our journey,
right?
We've created so many unhealthy attachments to people, and
they served us for time.
Right. Yes. And codependency and things like that. And I feel like that is some of the things that are showing up in our lives, right? Like, where do we have these unhealthy attachments to other people?
Absolutely. It's going to be slapping you in the face.
We're allowing ourselves to be manipulated. And
where are we giving away our power?
Right. It's giving away our power, not even knowingly, right? Like, how many situations have we unknowingly given our power away on the repeat button over and over and over again? But that's all coming to the light. And I feel like that's a lot of the releasing that we're doing, is just saying, I'm letting go of this way of being that no longer serves me. And not everyone in your life is going to be okay with that. And they may
that's important
leave
to realize
your life. Right. They may walk away because they might say, well, I can't, be in control, or I can't manipulate this situation anymore. And they're not ready to let go of that need for them, but you are, right? So we have to, I feel like, well, you don't have to do anything, right? But I feel like it's important right now to,
what we really want you to do.
Right. Or what would be, in your highest good right now, is to allow those things to happen, even though they can be incredibly sad, but to release all of that and really step into that sovereign place.
We need to be,
fully responsible for you. You are the leader of you.
Right. And you're owning your own field that doesn't contain anybody else's energy.
Yes.
It's just you. And it's so important to aim for a place, and we're getting there as a collective, and I know everybody can feel it. But a lot of times it can feel very scary because it's so unfamiliar, but we're getting to the place where we don't need anybody else, but the experience we're here for also includes the connection. But when you can have connection without attachment, guys, Angie and I can tell you, it's magical.
It is.
It's the deepest connections you will ever feel, because it's truly soul to soul connection without all that crap, piled on top. So I know it seems scary to say release everybody, but you release everybody but yourself,
Yeah.
And once you can release, and don't worry about doing it. You don't have to release everybody at once. We're not talking about, going to the nunnery, signing yourself up for the nun life. But it's baby steps, one person at a time. But it's going to be, like Angie was saying, it's going to be in your chili in September. Mm-hmm. It will not leave you alone. It's going to be slapping you in the face. And you know what phrase I kept hearing when you were talking about people may need to walk away is the phrase I heard was, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. We need to be in that, which is a very, although it's funny and doesn't really seem like it, for me it's a very neutral place. You can be in a very neutral place, like, fine, go, don't let the door,
because they have their own journey, and it's their choice. If someone wants to stay in a controlling pattern and you don't want to participate, and they don't want to have a relationship with you because of that, that's their choice. And when you're in your sovereignty,
and they get to have
know that everybody is allowed to make their choices of whatever it is that they desire for their life dream, right? And if their life dream includes that they perceive that they need to be in this, controlling situation or whatever, that's
then
just
they'll seek that out. Right? They'll seek that out elsewhere.
then
with somebody else.
It's important for us to move into a space where we're okay with letting people have their life dream be whatever it is that they need it to be. And we are okay with it. We can look out at the world and say, yeah, I don't agree with maybe 99% of the world, whatever, right? But we can say, but that's okay. They're living out their expression, their unique dream. And I can be okay with that because I'm sovereign in my space and I'm living out my dream.
And that's living judgment free.
Not connected to anyone else's dream.
Right. Whether or not you think they're making a mistake is none of your business, right? It's you have to let them travel their own road. So, and do your focus on you. So it's going to be I definitely see a lot of like, we're not done with the inner work. It's going to be a lot of inner work still. We're still largely in isolation. And honestly, in my personal opinion, this is all part of the process, you guys. This is all in our highest good. Mm-hmm. This is all for a bigger, better reason, I promise. It may feel dark. It may feel like a dark agenda, whatever rabbit hole you've gone down politically or whatever. Go above that. Try to rise above that. Try to transcend above all of that crap, because that's low vibe. And see the bigger picture. This is all something as a collective humanity we chose to experience in order to get to the better place. Like you have to experience these low vibe things to see and to appreciate the high vibe, to see the darkness, to appreciate the light, to remember, oh yeah, there's light because this is dark. If you only see one, you don't realize the other one exists. We have to experience both in order to get to this new place. And September, I feel like it's kind of I know we just did the Lionsgate, which was not too long ago. It was a huge portal gateway. What it did for us is put us even more fast forward, right? It sped us up even more. Yeah. So just like put your seatbelt on and right. And, even though it's going to be a lot of introverted, maybe energy, I always say, hold hands, like in the astral, let's just all hold hands and run.
Yeah.
And run for the finish line.
Just to piggyback on what you were saying, I feel like in this physical reality, just one thing that was coming to mind about the sovereignty that I wanted to say, because it was piggybacking on what you were saying about the things that we're experiencing in our world right now, or a lot of us are. So in the US, and I think in a lot of other countries, the social distancing. But if you think about that from the perspective of stepping into your sovereignty, if you don't have energies constantly coming into your space, it gives you that opportunity to really understand your own space, right? Like if you're experiencing social distancing and you're not constantly next to people because you can't be,
right,
in public,
it's
or
frowned
whatever.
upon.
So and you're being asked not to, or whatever. You're actually learning to be in your own space more and more without having and a lot of times, we let things into our space without, just unknowingly, right? We bring in other energy that's not ours, or some people have very intense energy and don't realize that they're putting their energy out there in such a way that it's, other people are, it can feel attacking, right? And so to have that opportunity to really sort out your own energy is kind of a precious gift, if you think about it. If people are really not allowed to go in your space for a few months, besides the people in your immediate house, this can be a really good thing, actually, if you think about it from that perspective. Now, I know not everyone has the same feeling around it. That's one perspective.
I think that's a great perspective, because we need to find the silver linings here. Like, we need to find the gratitude in this situation, and that's a huge one. I mean, yes, it may feel like, and I feel like too, because we're so used to having so much of other people's energies in our field, with this social distancing and the quarantining and staying at home more and and working from home and homeschooling, all these big changes that are keeping us from being around other people, you may feel, it may be a scary feeling to not have that extra weight too of other people's energies. Like, you're not feeling that, so you kind of feel a little floaty and weird, and maybe even you have vertigo. That's a huge symptom right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And you you know, it may feel very unsettling to have that floaty feeling because you're not letting all of that energy in. So, because and where we're at, you know, the level that we're at right now, it really does have to do with, you know, energy is everywhere, energy is everything, but it really does have to do with physical proximity. If you're not near somebody, it is harder for you to take on their energy. It really is a physical, you know, geographical kind of thing, closeness. You definitely, you brush somebody in the grocery store and you can take on some of their energy. Physical contact is a huge one. So yeah, I love that. I love that perspective. I never even would have thought of it that way. So that's, so shift your thinking right now about that, because that's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
In your overall vibration.
It is a gift if you look at it in that perspective. I feel like
we need to be going in. We need to be looking at our own energy right now. There's just, you don't have a choice anymore. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
But that's what's happening right now. Yeah, I mean, there's room for everybody on the bus. We're all going through this at the same time. Some of us are a little ahead because we're trying to show you the way. We're trying to light the way. So, but yeah, this is seriously so much inner work. We're not done yet. And, you know, I remember when I was early on in my journey and I had the first person who told me, well, you know, we'll never be done with the inner work. And I was devastated by that statement.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, but what happens is, no, we're never done. As long as we have a physical body, we won't be done. But you get really good at it. And it doesn't pull you down. And it almost, like, you're able to see the layered lessons. The more you do it, you see it on different levels, and you almost are able to kind of smile at the whole thing and see the beauty in the process. Because you'll see stuff, I promise you, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like stuff that would have taken me months 4 years ago,
absolutely,
I can kick out in about an hour, if not less.
You do. It does become, yeah, it just becomes so much easier, all of it.
Don't despair. It does get, we won't be done, but it's okay. You'll be okay with it, I promise.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to share this card that I pulled when, you know, before we came on, and it was Dark Night of the Soul, and I just felt like that was, I know you probably can't see the wording, and this deck is, I want to make sure, I think this is Lightworkers Oracle. Let me look at, does it have, yeah, so it's this one, the
beautiful
Alana Fairchild's Lightworker
I love her deck.
Dark Night of the Soul, number 16, if you're into the numbers of it. And she is, you know, interesting that we were talking of kind of that when we were just talking a minute ago, kind of about that continuum of dark to light, and sort of realizing that, you know, we've been on every point in that continuum. We all have, right? So I feel like this Dark Night of the Soul, interestingly, and I think you pulled this card, is really about acceptance. Like, I think it's about acceptance of the entire continuum, like every piece of it that we've participated in, which is all of it, right? We've been on every point of that. And the more we can accept that within ourselves, right, that we've
been and done everything.
That, right. I feel like the easier, and I know Dark Night of the Soul is never easy. Maybe easy isn't the right word.
Right. It's challenging, and it's a very intensely emotional time, but yeah, that even those get better, we promise. Those get better and quicker, and you can, like, you get to the point where maybe initially you're like, oh, I don't like how this feels, I don't know what's going on, and I have to hermit for 2 weeks. And then at some point you realize, okay, I feel something coming. I'm going to cancel all my appointments. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine. I'm going to cry. I'm going to watch a movie that makes me cry. That's the progression of how you're able to handle it. Yeah. And you're still doing, and not only are you still doing the work, you're actually doing more every time because you're so good at it. You're just sailing right through it. Instead of feeling like you're in that pit by yourself, right? Because ultimately we have to remember that we are so guided and protected and cherished, and you know that we have so much help. We have so much help. Whatever your jam, God, source, the universe, you know, Buddha, it just doesn't matter. They all are here to help. Yeshua, Angie and I love Jesus.
It's all love. Yeah.
It is all love, and they are all here to help. Right.
Yes.
It's all unconditional. And
even
unconditional
on that
love.
Continuum, right? It's all love. I know that's
Absolutely.
really hard to
Good
believe
and bad.
For some people, but that whole continuum from dark to light, it's all love.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to, because you said that, now I have to share this. It's really short, but so this was the first card I pulled, which is gorgeous. Look at that beautiful eagle.
I love how it looks like fire, like blue fire, you know, like the inside of the fire, and then the.
And this is number 8, interestingly, which is
half of
your number. And 8, whenever I pull 8, I always think, okay, it's infinity on the side.
Yes,
8 is always a good number. It says embrace spirit, but I feel like the picture is definitely more aligned with what we're doing, because look how he's really good at the dark nights of the soul. Look at his face. Look how confident
he's half light, half dark. I mean, he's
right in the 0 point, isn't he?
Embraced and accepted.
And he even looks like he's smiling, like he's got this down and he's enjoying it. But I have to read what it says because of what you just. Oh my gosh, he's gorgeous. So listen to this. It's a nice short message, but it marries with what you were just saying. And I didn't even read this to you before. You are a spiritual being living a physical life, which I just was telling somebody this morning in a session. Embrace spirit in your journey and reaffirm your connection with the divine. Fly to the heavens, but remember to look down and see that the divine exists in the magical natural world beneath you. Spirit dwells within all, in everything you see and know, and everything that you do not see and which is unknown. Both the creative and the destructive, the beautiful and the ugly, are born of the divine. Everything is from source. Everything. It's all about the experience that we're creating for ourselves. And I did, so I have to show it too. I did pull. This was one of the cards that I pulled, Acceptance, which is just gorgeous. I remember
that, and I feel like it just fits so perfectly with.
It does, and I mean, if you look at too, she's like not just lying in the pool; she's becoming the water. She is allowing the flow, not just allowing the water to flow over her, but it is flowing through her.
She is the flow.
She is the flow. Yeah, so that's so important. Yeah. And we know how hard this is. We know what we're asking of you.
Yeah.
But it is, it just is so, and you know, again, we don't like to say things like, you have to do this. You have to surrender. But what's happening is you will see opportunities to learn better ways to surrender, I guess is what really we're saying. When we say surrender and allow, you're going to be shown ways to work through your stuff so that you can really allowing, trusting, acceptance, all that stuff comes as a side effect of healing. So work through your dark nights of the soul and you will be able to allow and surrender a lot easier each time.
Yeah. And accept them and embrace them as an opportunity to let go. I mean, really, ultimately, the purpose of the dark night of the soul is to let go of ego, right?
Absolutely.
So to let go.
That's where the fear is coming from.
Exactly. Let go of more fear. So you can alchemize that and replace that with love.
Yep.
Yeah.
And move to the next level. Or as a friend of mine would say, she views it as like eternity as a mansion. She always says, we're going to the next room.
Yeah.
Going into the next room. Yeah, we are. And we're all going together. We're not going to turn the lights off in the other room until everybody's out.
Yes.
I promise.
This other card I have, it's so interesting that, the leaves blowing off image, because I pulled this just a second ago. It's Stretch.
Yeah.
And she has like the leaf, like she is a tree. If you think of a tree, like stretching out its limbs, year after year. Stretching, and then she has the leaves blowing off, which is interesting.
Would you think do you feel like that's the same thing as expanding? That's kind of the feeling I'm getting, like expand. Expand your horizons, expand your field.
Absolutely. And you know what I was getting around this? I feel like when we're not expanding or stretching, there's part of us that's closed off to what's new, and we're thinking, oh, there couldn't possibly be, it's almost like in our mind space, we've closed off to the idea that there could be something new, or there could be an easier way, or there could be something that we could embrace, right? But we get that kind of, when we're not stretching, we sort of get that clog where it's like, we're stuck in that, like that rut of, no, there isn't anything more that, I could experience, or not that we couldn't
maybe
experience. That's
maybe
not the
that's
right
the
word
desert.
at all. Yeah, like open your container. It's almost like we, we bring in and we bring, like you were saying, like we bring in all this stuff, and then we kind of like put a lid on the container, and it's like, oh gosh, like, wow,
that's it. That's as much as I can do.
That's as much as I'm willing. That's as far as I'm willing to expand. But it's almost like as we're having the dark night of the soul, and that those ego belief systems are breaking away, it opens up the space again for us to bring in new ideas for different things that we hadn't considered before. I feel like there can be triggers that come up when we're being presented with those new ideas, right? We can get, we can get defensive or feel like, oh no, how could that work? That couldn't be possible. Sure. But this is, I feel like, that moment when we're being asked to expand our container and really say, okay, what is possible? Because there's so much more than what we've considered or been shown, or,
and you'll never,
past, right?
You'll never have it all in there until we're all just one plasma.
So I think we're really being asked to stretch. Stretch.
Absolutely.
Out.
And honestly, coming out of the desert, that totally makes sense. Like, I feel like what you're describing, it's when you're in the desert, when you're like, oh, I'm good. Because you don't feel like you're moving at all, but you kind of really, a lot of us get comfortable there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if you do get comfortable there, is what I want to say, that's when the universe will bring in a tower, a dark night of the soul, to get you out of it, to snap you out of it. It's almost like, it is almost like a cosmic slap across the face to snap you out of a hysterical fit, right? Like, they're going to draw. I always say, if you don't pay attention to the small signs, they'll drop a piano on your head. If you ignore all the small things. So, keep plugging along. But if you're thinking that there's nothing else, you will be shown differently, and it's going to push you. It will stretch you, which that's not always comfortable. Yeah. It's going to stretch you farther than you thought you could stretch. What's that saying? Like, when you feel like you have gone as far as you can go, you've gone half as you're able to.
Oh my goodness.
Something like that. Like, we are infinite beings. The possibilities really are limitless as we evolve. So don't ever put the cap on it. Don't ever think that I've done it all. I'm good. Yeah. And if you feel like you're doing that, then you're in the desert, and just be ready. The universe is going to bring the piano.
I completely resonate with that.
Look up while you're walking.
Yes. And what Spirit is saying to me right now is, they're so proud of us, because so many of us have gotten really good with our boundaries, and we've learned how to say the word no. But what they're saying is, we've learned so well how to say no that we've closed ourselves off.
We kind of went the other way.
It's almost like we need to watch the movie Yes Man.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
We need to say yes to things, to stretch ourselves again, to say, yes, I'm going to open up and I'm going to expand to this.
That is so true. We got so excited. We got so excited about being sovereign, guys, and saying no. Now we're saying no to things that maybe we would really enjoy. That maybe we've gotten so good. On our path,
it's almost like we've taken our pattern in a whole nother direction, where it's like, wait a second.
That is so like us.
Reel it back in for a second. Stretch. Yeah.
That's so like us. Like, I just am feeling like, of course we did that. Of course we went too far. But I was telling somebody this morning, I feel like we're in a pinball machine. We're the ball. Our guides are the little paddles. And they're always like, nope, that way. Nope, that way. So we try to go to the sides, right? We try to go to the hidden spots, and they're always smacking us back into the middle, so that we stay on the path,
Yeah.
So that we stay in the experience.
Yeah.
So that's what we chose. That's ultimately what grows our soul. So it's all about the adventure.
Yeah.
And adventure, as I was talking, can't remember when I was saying this, but adventure, if you look up adventure, it doesn't necessarily say it's all rainbows and unicorns.
No.
Adventure is just a shake up in your life that gives you a new perspective.
Oh, I like it.
So it doesn't necessarily mean everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah. That's interesting that you're saying that, because I think when I think about adventure, a lot of times, and I love that word, I use that word in my marketing all the time. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
and for some reason, when I think about a journey and adventure at the same time, the book, The Alchemist, you've read that book, right? That comes to me a lot because of the story of that book. Have you read it?
I don't think I have. I need to write that down.
Yeah.
It's just called The Alchemist? Okay,
yes, and it's a novel.
Because that's what I call myself.
Yes, you will love that book. It's so good.
I'm writing that down. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody write that down.
I won't, and I'm not going to spoil it for you then, but it really is, the highs and lows of the adventure of this journey of someone's life and how it comes full circle. It's really neat. So for those of you that have read The Alchemist, you know what I'm referring to. But yeah, in the essence of the word adventure, that's really, it really is all the highs and lows and all the things that bring it
all the
to
experiences.
Yeah.
That anchor you here, right? That anchor you here, that keep your feet on the ground and keep you moving forward.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster.
Oh, and without the low, like I so get this now. Without the low points, would we really appreciate the high? We wouldn't know what the low felt like. We would lose the gratitude for the high if we didn't have. I know that's a simple, simple way to put it, but it really is true, and we need both.
Yeah.
So, and when I started my journey, I remember saying to I didn't know anything about guides or energy or anything. My awakening was through my physical body was shutting down. And I just remember saying to God or whoever I thought I was talking to is, okay, if this is happening, I just want to feel everything. Because I had spent 42 years not feeling anything or very little. Like, I'm not saying I was miserable. I've had very happy times, but for the most part, I was here. And so I said to my creator, I said, I just want to feel everything. If I'm going to feel this low, then damn it, I better feel the high too. And boy, have they delivered. It's been quite an adventure.
Yep.
So crazy.
Yeah. Oh
so did you have another card?
I was just messing around with the cards again to see if there were any.
I want to show. I want to show this because I'm kind of excited to see what we get on the fly with this one. So this one came out. If you know me, you know I don't, because I always tell people this. I don't read reverse. I don't read cards in reverse because, in my opinion, the message is going to come correctly, no matter whether, I like to look at the card the way the artwork is meant to be most of the time. This one came out in reverse and I really heard, do not flip it around, leave it like this. So I feel like the prophet, yeah, that's great. We're all prophets, whatever. I feel like the picture is more important from this perspective. So look how that, I know we already discussed it a little bit, but look how that looks like. That looks like a huge pouring down, a huge release of something into the abyss, whatever this is, but there's that beautiful like golden light, which, this way might be considered like the spiritual central sun, but I think this way it's just, I feel like it's really like whatever Gaia or whatever is transmuting all of this energy and look at the colors too. So root, sacral, I feel like this is representing a huge flush of this fear of survival, which we're all being shown really, really strongly right now, right? With all of this stuff going on. And that's where they live. That fear of survival lives in those lower two and a lot in the solar too. But the colors here are just so red and orange, and it's flushing, it's being flushed. So even though this card is in reverse, which a lot of people think, oh no, it's going to be a bad message. It's never a bad message, first of all, never a bad message. But it's just, it's this huge purge going on that as we accept, allow, and surrender is just going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway. The more you can allow, release, and surrender, the easier it'll feel, but it's happening. It's happening, and this almost feels like the point at which it's all being transmuted into light.
Yeah.
Like it may be a bunch of junk, but it's ultimately going to return back to source, right?
Right. Well, and it was important at the time, whatever it was, right?
Absolutely. It got us here, but we always say it got us, whatever you've been through, you're still here.
Right.
It got you here. It served you in some way. So
at the moment in time
really good.
when it was created, it did. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Everything that you may view as negative, it made you who you are right now.
Yeah.
And if you're watching our video, you're on a journey, like we are,
an adventure
of remembering, of self, of self-exploration, of experiencing ourselves. We are souls in physical bodies, just coming here to experience ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's big stuff. Yeah. Did you pull another one? Just curious.
I did.
I love the cards. They're a lot of fun.
I had, what was interesting was I was looking for the card that I had from earlier, and then I don't know where I set it.
Oh, but interesting. I felt like it doesn't want to come out.
I know, now it didn't come back out, but I was so excited about that one, in relation to what we were talking about. But I guess I must have stuck it back in the deck accidentally, and then I was like,
well, there's a reason. There's a reason.
I guess there is a reason. Yeah, absolutely. So the new card that the first new one that I pulled was Focus. So it's got the crystal cave. Oh. Yeah.
Look at the amethyst.
I feel like your card that you just showed, there's a level of focus too. It's like this very focused clearing,
absolutely.
Like the way you were describing it.
Focusing, it's almost like a funnel.
It is.
It's like funneling in a very focused spot. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is our collective energy, focusing on this purge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
There's also a lot of, this looks like fire and lava or whatever, but if you can see it close, the background is actually completely made up of flowers. It's the flower of life.
Oh my goodness, no, I did not see that.
The whole back. So
that looks like that little yellow flower at the top of the base of the tree looks like a chakra, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a chakra clearing.
Huge clearing of fear. I mean, that's really what I'm feeling.
There's
water, like
sparkles coming out.
Got the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guides. I always see those as guides.
Yeah,
I have that deck too. I always feel like those are guides, just kind of hovering there. They're always there. They never leave.
Right. And I keep getting focused intentions, like really focus your intentions right now, because there is so much going on just that, can pull, I feel like, and I don't want to speak for anyone, but it can pull us away from our, real high, intentions for the good of all.
Sure.
We can, easily look out in the world and kind of lose focus on those really amazing intentions that we might have been thinking about just 5 minutes before, and then we can spiral into, oh my gosh.
And we go on Facebook.
Because things change so fast right now too, right?
Oh my gosh,
where it's
that
like
Lionsgate.
I feel like we're constantly handling a new shift or change, and that can be energetically or in real life situations, right? Like the school is sending another email today, everything has changed from this other thing that we thought, things like that, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
And that can be all over across the board. That's just a situation for me, but that can be, so many things right now. You get your heart set on whatever, or you get your mind set on this is going to be this way, but it's not. And so I feel like that can really distract our focus of the bigger.
Absolutely. The things that come in
and I'm saying that
the things that come in and kind of mess with your day-to-day schedule, right? Like we all still have to exist here in this world where we need to feed our bodies and we need to clean our house and cook meals and all that and take care of kids. And so anything that comes in and disrupts like the day-to-day can really be overwhelming sometimes, and it can really kind of feel like it's knocking you off course. And so focus. And one thing I was getting to before we even started was if you don't have a daily meditation practice, now might be a good time. I don't mean you have to sit and om for 2 hours in a yoga studio. You just need to go outside. If you can, sit in the grass, walk in the grass barefoot, and just be, and just don't just sit and let your brain kind of go crazy and until it calms itself, and then you've meditated. That's the success markers.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, I really felt zen there for a minute, and then you're like, oh, you did it.
Yeah, you did it.
So sometimes we just have to let the thoughts go. Sometimes we're holding on to them, right, rather than just letting them go out. I always picture 2 doors, right? I see them come in this door, and I just tell them to keep going out that door.
Oh, I like that.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Usually Michael's standing at the door, like
taking his scissors and freeing
the
them,
balloons.
you know,
Yeah,
cutting them like
I love
strings.
That one too. Yeah, because then it connects it to where we imagine our thoughts are, right, in the brain. So that's a good one. Yeah, whatever works for you is. It's important to just kind of calm that monkey mind sometimes. And but yeah, meditation is whatever it looks like for you. And I have told people it really 30 seconds. If that's all you can do, if you feel calmer, then you're doing it. You're moving forward. So
yeah, and you can build
the worst
up
thing
from
we
there.
can do.
You can do 1 minute.
Absolutely.
You can do 2. The next day you can do 3.
I used to not be able
just like
to
sit-ups.
do. Right? Exactly. You have to do it every day. Which brings me to my last card, which was perception.
Yeah, shifting that perception is huge.
We are so
expanding
shifting.
the container is what was coming to me again as I was looking at that.
And the perception of how that feels. You know, it used to feel so scary. We need to split that to feel the excitement of the adventure of what's coming, right? Because it's just more good stuff.
Yeah, and you can let more in. Once you expand your container, I mean, you know, when we're in that closed off mode, there could be all these great things that are trying to get to us, but because we're saying, oh, that's not possible, or I would never entertain that, or whatever.
I'm closed for business, right?
Yeah, we're not allowing ourselves into the fullness of who we are, right? We're limited. So I'm getting that it would be helpful and beneficial during September to meditate on expanding your container.
Absolutely.
If
and that's
you are resonating with that,
process,
or you feel called to do that. Yeah, just imagine that you're expanding that container of what's possible. So you can let more light in, of course, and then you can let more possibility in, and all the good things that are trying to get to you that need a space.
And how you do it too is how you teach people how to focus it from your heart center and expand from there. I think that's the money. That's the best way to do it, because then you're expanding that unconditional love that is your natural state. And you're and you can go as far out as the whole cosmos. There is no limit to how big you can expand your container. And then just try to hold it, you know, as long as you can. And then it'll come back in, and that's fine, because you got to come back down to earth at some point. But just the more you do that, the more stuff that you are ready to let go of is just going to fall away. And like you keep saying, more can come in, more good stuff can come in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal, is making more room for the light, for our soul, for our whole soul to fit in these little bodies.
If you think about your life, I'm sure we all can resonate with moments when we were closed off to things. We had our blinders up to something, and then realized later, oh my gosh, how did I not see that before? Why did I say that, no to that, or that I wouldn't entertain that, or whatever? I've done it. That's why I'm resonating. Like, yes, I've done that, where I think, I missed a great opportunity.
Right. But it's that whole, mentality of we've gotten a little too good at saying no now. And I feel like that's kind of kept us in the desert longer than we needed to be. So now it's time to come out. So start saying yes. Go watch Jim Carrey and Yes Man. It's hilarious if you've not seen it. And start saying yes to stuff. And then you'll realize, oh my gosh, well this. And one thing I like to tell people too is don't ever feel like you missed something forever. If you missed something, it wasn't for you, you weren't ready for it. If you are meant to have it, it'll come back around. The next time we're ultimately moving up a spiral. We're not on a line like this. We're going like this. So you're going to come back to the same energy on the next level, and it'll be there waiting for you when you're ready for it. So you can't ever miss something that was meant for you, and I might as well pack it all in because I missed that gateway. It's not possible. And so it's time to get a little shaken up, because we need to be climbing out of the desert right now. We need to be really taking active, roles in our own soul work. And it was great. The desert was great. We got comfortable, and it was, maybe a nice downtime, but it's now time to really dig in and work on shifting that perception.
I think the desert was like a big integration period for us, and now we can expand. And probably good to say no to certain things when you're in integration period, because it's like, okay, I have to integrate what I already have before I can expand my container into more. So I think that's
true. Yeah.
We might have gotten used to, because we were in a long integration, we might have gotten used to saying, oh, I can't take on anymore.
Right.
Not realizing
I can't go out
to, that has passed. Okay. I think that's the message.
Yeah. It's that energy. You're right. We've been in it so long.
It's okay to say yes to some new things now.
Time to start.
And sometimes that's the only way, even if they're not things that are going to be like your biggest passion or whatever, but sometimes that's a way to shake things up, to get out of a rut of like the desert, right? Just to try something new, to say yes to something new, because it's a way to get your mind out of, even like you said, meditation, but it's a way to get your mind focused on something new, and you're creating new pathways, and you're creating a new experience, and who knows what that could open up for you. But just even trying one new thing is the message I'm getting. Trying one new thing, maybe that you said no to before.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that exercise class or that book that someone recommended or whatever. Trying one new thing, because it's going to help you get on that path of breakthrough out of the desert.
Right.
That's what's
and I suspect that one new thing has been on your mind a lot. So just go with that. Like whatever's been, like you're seeing it everywhere. Like either everybody's talking about the book and you're like, God, I haven't read that book yet. Or you just see it randomly, or a sign that you're seeing that's making you think about something. Like I actually have always wanted to learn how to play the drums. And that just keeps coming up for me. So I feel like I'm being called to, for fun. It's just for fun. But fun helps grow our soul. But I did want to say too, I feel like the Lion's Gate, when we went through the Lion's Gate, these big portals do tend to, they bring so much, we need some downtime to integrate. So they do tend to kind of launch us into a desert mode, as a collective, and that's okay. The worst thing we can do is beat ourselves up for thinking we're doing something wrong.
Right.
Just go with the flow. If you've resisted in the past, then you weren't quite ready. You had resistance to heal, right? It's okay. Yeah, we don't judge. We don't judge any of it. Everybody's going to get there.
Whenever you're ready,
you're ready. Absolutely. And we are here, this is what we do. Angie and I both help people through this journey, because we've been through some pretty intense adventures.
Yes, healing adventures.
Healing adventures. We've been on a healing journey for quite some time. So, and our mission is to help you understand what's going on so that it's easier for you to get to where we are. We chose the tough path so that you didn't have to. I really feel like this first card then that I pulled is kind of where this is where we're headed. I mean, this is our energy as a collective.
The sovereign energy,
Absolutely. Just totally knowing who you are and what you're doing here and how you fit into the cosmos, and just owning it and just being it. So
very regal. He's very regal.
He's so regal. He is. And he's like made of cosmic flame. Which there is a lot of fire. And I know we've had a lot of, what did we have? The Lion's Gate. And then we had a full moon or new moon in Leo. I mean, it's a lot that's all Leo's fire sign. So there is a lot of fire going on. So a lot of burning the old, right? Burning the old and allowing the new to, it's a phoenix energy, totally.
Yeah.
Let the old stuff die. So, and that's a tower that definitely comes along with the dark night of the soul is kind of likened to the death card in a tarot deck, right?
And the tarot tower has flames shooting out of the side.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So it is like a burning of gosh, even like our old selves, like our
our old. I would say let it burn.
Let it burn. Yeah.
Trust. And say to the people who are no longer going to be part of your path, don't let the door hit you in the ass. On the way out.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
It is.
It's all perfect. So yeah, I think we got it all. I feel like we got it all.
Did. Yeah, absolutely. I think we did.
Become the flow, everybody.
If we feel like there's more, we'll give you a mid-month update. But I feel like that.
If things shift.
I feel like there's a lot here. So.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We just talk.
Lot to work with here.
Gab. Right. Yeah. So just the important thing I think the one thing to take from it is just, well, trust and allow.
Yeah.
That everything is happening. This is not happening to you. It's happening for you.
For your sovereignty. Yeah.
Sovereignty. Yeah. Like this is such a great sovereignty visual.
Every person in your life loved you so much, no matter what they did. They loved you so much. They did it to help you with your own sovereignty.
Right.
When you can accept that, you can accept a lot of things, and you can really forgive and release a lot of things.
Let go of all the trauma and the judgment and the baggage and So as long as you hold on to that trauma that is attached to that other person, you're going to be attached to that other person, and you don't want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, allow that fire to.
All good. Burn it away. Yep. Burn it away. This is very fire-like too. We were talking about how it looks like fire. So very much so. Fire and water. The acceptance is the flow and the water, and we're just allowing the fire because we know the water's going to put it out.
Yes. Exactly.
The water's going to flow through and put it out. So that is our expert advice.
That's our September update. So join us again for October, and we are scheduling our video where we're going to go into the records of a sacred space, and we want to do more of those. So sacred location on the planet, to talk about just anything and whatever comes up. We're really excited to do this. We both are huge fans of any of the shows that on history or whatever that go into sacred spaces. So we want to go into the records of sacred spaces. So that's on the agenda next. Join us for that. And
those are going to be purely funsies for fun.
It's going to be so fun. It's going to be amazing. Again, I'll put our information here at the bottom. I offer
we both have
Records
our channel.
Training. If you would like to learn how to access your own Akashic Records for your own expansion, raise your own vibration, and raise your consciousness, it's an amazing tool. And
I am a student of Angie Kraft Meldal. And I also am an essential oil alchemist. I create intuitive blends for whatever your current energies are to help the transition be as smooth as possible. And I am a Reiki master, and I do offer kind of my own blend of energy healing. And I do Akashic readings as well. And I've started kind of even marrying those two. So there's some exciting new. Everyone I think is going to be creating their own new modality, and it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
We've got a lot.
Oh my goodness. Do you hear that thunder?
Ooh, you got a storm up by you? I don't know.
Yeah, it just was like out of nowhere.
I heard it. It sounded like a drum.
It was loud. Yeah. So
awesome.
Yes, I've gotten to experience all of Wendy's work too. So amazing, everything.
We are a little obsessed with each other in a good way.
Readings, all of it, amazing. Her Reiki, all of it. So yeah, she's an amazing energy worker. Yay!
So we will see you next time for the October.
We wish you an amazing September, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell.
Please, for both of us. Yes, absolutely. We feel like these are important messages. So. Yeah, we'd love to hear about your journey, or if what resonates in these videos, and share with, because you never know who might need even just one little nugget.
Yes, awesome advice.
We will see you next time.
Okay,
bye everybody.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much. Bye.